We got a very special guest in studio right now. Let's welcome in Mike Gartner, Hall of Fame forward and chair of the Hockey Hall of Fame Selection Committee. Big weekend, Garts, and we know you've already been real busy as of this afternoon with the ring ceremonies. If you've been living under a rock, we've got Ken Hitchcock and Pierre Lacroix. The goaltending is covered by Tom Barrasso, Henrik Lundqvist, and Mike Vernon, Pierre Turgeon, and, of course, Caroline Ouellette as well. So huge contributions to the hockey world. And first and foremost, Garts, as always, thanks for coming.
My pleasure, because all you have to do is send me a text. And you said, Garts, are you going to be able to make it down here? I said, I'm down here. How far away are you? And you said, I'm only a few blocks, so it's good.
Okay.
You know that Kyper and I, so we've been in 3 organizations together. So Washington, we never played. But Toronto and in New York. So,
yeah, I just missed him.
Did you ever see him ably hosting a show and leading it off like that? Is that a surprise for you? Or?
We had just gotten traded to New York, and because it was a 3-way trade, I did not know Steve Larmer as well. So we were all, I don't know what hotel we were, but Mike Gartner was kind enough to drive Steve Larmer and I to our very first New York Ranger game.
Really?
Yes.
I mean,
because that's what veterans
special.
do, right,
yeah,
Guards?
We do. That's what we do, Kyper, you know? And
yeah.
you just had to, you weren't quite as talkative back then, if I recall.
Oh, my God. I was just like, what am I doing here? Oh, my gosh. Just sit in the back seat and shut up.
Get to the ring
and let the real stars talk up front between Larms and Garts, of course. So give us a brief description of what this afternoon was like with the ring ceremony. And, of course, you know, these are all huge stars, but they must have felt like kids in a candy store.
They did. Just taking a step back, Lanny McDonald is the chair of the Hockey Hall of Fame. And Lanny and I have the great pleasure that when players and builders are voted into the Hall of Fame back in June, we get to call them. And we're the first call. We're the first people that they talk to, which is so much fun. And then fast forward a few months from June until now, I have the honor of giving and presenting the rings at the press conference this afternoon at the Hockey Hall of Fame in the Great Hall, with all of the Hall of Famers looking down on their plaques, down with all the future Hall of Famers there, and it is a pleasure. I look forward to that all summer long, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And this is a really strong class that we have here today.
Yeah, so it is interesting to me. 3 goaltenders go in this year. The process is fascinating, I think, to a lot of people, the selection committee and all that. How does it come to be that 3 goalies go in one year, and how do these sort of balances get struck?
Yeah, I mean, good question, Justin, in that, you know, how does that happen? I mean, it really does happen because we're having discussions. These people are going to be voted on. They're future Hall of Famers when we're talking about them. But we start looking at statistics because we're bringing a lot of statistics into our analysis right now, as the game has a lot of statistics in it. And we look at it and say, you know, from a statistical standpoint, we're a little light on goaltenders here. Like, we're really light on goaltenders. And it's not like we're just trying to get goaltenders in. It's just that we have to consider the goaltenders that were impact goaltenders and were stars and were superstars within their eras. And so we have to look at guys like a Tom Barrasso, who at age 19 out of high school comes in and wins the Calder Trophy and the Vezina Trophy when you're 19 years old. Yeah. No one has ever done that before. And so he's a Hall of Famer and probably has been a Hall of Famer for a long time. And we certainly get a lot of criticism one way or the other, which of course we should as one of the 18 members on the selection committee. And sometimes it is, why isn't this guy in the Hall of Fame, or why isn't that player in the Hall of Fame? And our answer is usually, if they're a Hall of Famer, they will eventually get there. And sometimes it takes us a little while, but we try to do the right thing at the end of the day.
I can only imagine what a room full of 18 strong, opinionated hockey people
Berkey's in there.
would be like. Like,
yeah.
Does it get animated? Does it get a little heated at times?
Yeah, but not crazy heated, but it does get both. And so it should, because we are having a discussion and not an argument, but sometimes it's bordering on an argument on who we think should be in the Hall of Fame and who we think doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So, yes, it is a little bit heated. And as I said, I think it should be.
Who would be some names that people come up to you and say, why isn't this guy in? Who I guess it's a long list, and
there's a lot of names that come up. But, guys like, why is McGillney not in the Hall of Fame? Why is Curtis Joseph not in the Hall of Fame?
Sure. Toronto market probably.
Toronto market, you have those things. Why did Eric Lindros take a couple of years to get into the Hall of Fame instead of a first-year Hall of Fame inductee?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that go along with that. But these are obvious questions, and the answer back is usually the same, and that is
patience.
Patience, because sometimes there's a group that comes up that you look at them and you think that's a strong group. I mean, pretty easy pickings there, but that doesn't come along all that often. So you have to wait for little lighter years to come so you can consider some players that are more on, not on the cusp, but that need a lot more discussion.
Mike, when we have our beer conversations or patio conversations talking about great players, as far as the public perception is concerned, the one deciding factor sometimes for a lot of people on how great a player is, well, how many cups did he win, right? And I'm just wondering where that value comes in, if all things kind of being equal, the perception of one guy winning or being a part of a Stanley Cup. How much is that?
It comes into play. Kevin Lowe was a great. We both played with Kevin Lowe. We had a great teammate. Kevin Lowe won 6 Stanley Cups.
Yeah,
that kind of puts you over the top, right? And so you have discussions like that. Mike Vernon, somebody who's going in. Mike Vernon was a really good goaltender, like a top goaltender. He won 2 Stanley Cups with 2 different teams. And so those types of things put you over. You have other players that haven't won a Stanley Cup that are also in the Hall of Fame. So it isn't a criteria, but it certainly carries a lot of weight, Kyper, just as league awards, all-star, not all-star games, all-star teams at the end of the year, all carries a lot of weight.
I look at the league today and I see 32 teams, which is so different than it used to be. And you're going to see more players finish their careers without a cup, more great players. It used to be the great players eventually got theirs. And that's going to be a tougher discussion, I think, is it not, as Stanley Cups become?
It is absolutely.
Tougher.
I think you've heard Berkey talk about it a number of different times on whatever show you want to listen to, and Berkey's on it.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's very true. You're going to see a lot of really good hockey players, a lot of great hockey players that come through that just had never won a Stanley Cup. So that is going to happen more often.
Yeah.
We're talking to Mike Gartner, of course, a Hockey Hall of Fame member himself. 1,432 games, 708 goals.
17 30-goal seasons to me is the most absurd thing. That's a ridiculous stat.
Yeah. Garts, what happened with the 2 that you
what
didn't?
did happen the other
Let's
2
focus
years? He
on
didn't score
that. What
30.
happened with you?
Well, there was a lockout in 1 year.
Is that honestly true?
It's true. So that happened
God.
after the 15th year. So there was a lockout. Okay. And the last one was my last year playing.
That's
Garts, when I was a kid and you end up watching a Hall of Fame ceremony, you equate it with like old guys or just, and now we're seeing all these young guys step up and go into the Hall of Fame, and just that whole perception now on guys that like are looking for this as a validation, but what it can also mean to the families and then even financially, Garts. I mean, you have that label as a Hockey Hall of Fame. The perception out there to even market yourself after that is absolutely huge now, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the financial benefits to come in.
Well, you missed the boat.
Yeah, I missed the
That's
boat
right.
on that. But you're absolutely right in that it is such a family thing, because you cannot get to the level of being in the National Hockey League or any sport, any profession. You can't get into the Hall of Fame by yourself. You just
Right.
doesn't happen. It happens with great teammates, with great teams, with great family, with great friends, with great communities. And to a person, when we talk to people, when we tell them that they've been inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then all the events that happen this weekend, and you'll see it on Monday night when they give their speeches, it will all be about everybody else. Because it's the one time that you can say thank you to everybody else that got you to where you are.
Yeah. My father-in-law, Clark Gillies, member of the Hockey Hall of Fame, and seeing the effect on their families, it becomes a defining thing for some people. I think that's, if you asked him career lifetime accomplishments, that's probably number one for him. So a large thing. So When you look at the NHL today compared to the years that you played in it, how do you feel about the style of play now, the way that the game is? Kip and I sometimes talk about the way that the game has evolved. How do you feel about today's NHL compared to your era playing?
So I like watching the NHL when it's a good game, and it's usually really good in the playoffs. Yeah. There are some games that I got to tell you honestly. I mean, there's some games I watch that I just say this just isn't a very good hockey game. Now that could happen at any era,
Sure,
but I think that the way the game is played right now, the players by a margin are more skilled top to bottom, 1 to 20. I mean, without question, it's a more skilled game. But because it's a more skilled game, it's sometimes played like that without a lot of passion. And so it's the one thing that I kind of miss watching. And we don't need to watch everybody banging each other around, but we just need to see some passion sometimes, that you can't wait till the third period to see the first hit of the game. And so I think that that's the only thing I miss. And so I don't watch as much hockey during the season. I like watching the Toronto Maple Leafs. I live here in Barrie, so I get to watch them a lot. But I like watching the playoffs because or as it's coming into the playoffs when games really mean something. And that's the defining thing that I say between what the game was like and what the game is like now.
Interesting that you say that, because we just had a prior conversation. We kind of finished it with Doug McLean just before or after he drove it in the ditch. I'm not sure.
I forget the order.
But we were talking about the emphasis of this skill. And Mike, I mean, you've been in the rink business too, and you made the smaller rinks. And again, more lens towards the development for sure of skill. But is there a line maybe we've gone too far on that type of emphasis, and then just the simple things of what you speak of, including the passion to be on the right side of the puck, to check, to play, the percentages on getting a puck out or making one last move that turns it over? Have we lost that?
Yes, we have. So prime example is that a guy that you and I played with, Alex Kovalev, I've said could be the most talented player that I've actually played with. I watched him in practice all the time. I watched him in games. And I watched him for 2 years play keep away hockey out there on the ice. And it's like, Covey, like, you are so good. When are you going to actually take all that skill and decide that you want to score a goal? And it's a little, and when he did that, he became such a dynamic player because it was for a reason. And so I find that the skill has to be used out there for a specific reason. It isn't the reason to put the puck in the net,
Yes.
like to get to the front of the net. You can play on a rink that's the size of Lake Ontario, or you could play on a small rink. You eventually have to bring the puck to the front of the net because that's where it's going to happen all the time. So I think that having that whole passion is a necessary thing to make for good hockey and to make for important hockey that we can watch, right?
So you're watching the Leafs a lot. We've had the conversation over the years about William Nylander, talented guy, maybe somewhat of the Kovalev mold where he's super skilled, and I think has done a much better job taking it across the net, kind of making those harder moves to the tough areas. When you look at this Leafs team, is that still an element you'd like to see more of from their core guys?
And not to interrupt you, but
Please.
We had a great conversation on Willie Nylander, and he blew me away when he told me. Do you remember what you told me?
I do. Like,
Please
Willie
repeat it.
Nylander, first 2 strides are unbelievable. I've never seen anybody change direction like William Nylander. The way he can stop it up and move from side to side. I love watching him play. He's become a much better hockey player. He really has. But we talk about toughness. So you have your tough guy, I'm going to beat you up type of tough. The game's really not much there anymore. There's the odd guy. Then you got your I'm going to scare you, I'm going to be mean, I'm going to run you over kind of tough. And then there's just the tough, I'm just going to play in the tough areas. Yeah. And I'm going to take a whack on the back of the leg, and I'm going to take some abuse. And that's tough too. And you don't have to be that big, strong guy to play tough all the time, but you need to play tough in order to be a successful player and a successful team. And I love the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think they have a really good hockey team. I'm glad that they're the highest scoring team in the league, because I've always thought that, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, but you can't teach offense.
Right.
Defense is just purely a commitment. That's all it is. It's just a commitment. And I'd rather be the highest scoring team in the league that's getting scored on a lot, and tighten that up than than being the lowest scoring team in the league, because that's tough to manufacture.
Yeah, I actually wrote this article today on that very thing. I am fascinated hearing that come from you, the guy who was probably the fastest guy in the league when you played.
And arguably one of the best skaters in the history
right,
of the
you
game.
didn't have to stand in front of any net.
Who's
But
telling-
did you
Oh,
have
no,
to learn that?
Oh no, I had 1,000 penalty minutes though at the same time too. So
Okay,
you
yeah,
have to, you're taking a little bit of a beating along the way somewhere.
You got to stand up for yourself in that process.
You have to stand up for yourself, but you have to stand up for your team. You have to play the way that you have to play, so that everybody needs to play that way. I mean, why did the Florida Panthers get to where they were? It wasn't because they're the best team, but you watch them play. They had a 5-man attack all the time, everywhere, all over the ice.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
they were a true team.
They were a team, and they were playing like a team. Now, honestly, you take the Toronto Maple Leafs and they just play a little bit like that, they will dominate. I mean, I still like their team. I really do.
Yeah.
I like their team a lot. It's just a matter of just saying, guys, we need to tighten this up. We need to play a better team defense, and which of course they can do.
As far as the Hall of Fame in general, it's got to be a pretty good time now to be a part of that. Not that I'm ready to retire Ovechkin or Crosby, but they are closer to coming on your side of the Hall of Fame than others. Again, not ready to retire them, but it's kind of nice knowing that they're not too far off.
Yeah, and if we can ever get Jaromir Jagr to finally retire from then maybe we could include him in that same category. But yeah, we've got some great guys and great people in the women's game that are coming up. I mean, Carolyn Ouellette, a 6 or 7 time world champion, 4-time Olympic gold medalist. So we have a lot of good players coming down that we're going to be talking about over the next few years.
Has the criteria changed a lot over your years being on the selection committee?
The criteria is a very broad criteria. It actually hasn't changed.
It's just, who do you think is a Hall of Famer?
It sort of is. I mean, because the only criteria for anybody to be considered in the Hall of Fame, you need to be retired for 3 years. That's it. Yeah. So we obviously know that there's a lot of people that aren't going to get any consideration of course. And so the group is smaller, but the criteria moves a little bit as you see different groups kind of come in, as the game gets a little bit differently. I mean, you can't compare scorers from the 1980s to scorers in the 2000s. You just can't compare
Same with goalies, I imagine.
Yeah, the same with goalies and save percentage and and wins and losses, goals against average, things like that. So you do it does have to be a little bit mobile and moving it back and forth a bit.
Can you remind our viewers and listeners that there isn't a limit in how many times that you can consider somebody? It's not baseball where you run out of opportunities, correct?
That's correct.
Which is silly in itself, is it not? Like, if people think you should be in 20-some years later, what's the difference?
Well, 2 examples were Kevin Lowe and Doug Wilson that got in after almost 20 years of being eligible.
And Pierre Turgeon has been waiting a long time too.
Yes, he has.
We have a lot of conversations on this show where our producer Sam loves to go Hall of Famer or not, and it really is just opinion based. And names that come up for some fringe guys, a guy like Joe Pavelski who's still playing. You hear people in Toronto say Phil Kessel in 3 Stanley Cups, and your mileage may vary on how you feel about these guys. But do you watch the game now with an eye like he's on the cusp? You probably have a number of guys in your head that you're like fringe.
We do, but at the same time, a lot of times when you're watching players near the end of their career, I mean, you don't want to watch just the end of their career. You want to have watched them during the heart of their career, because everybody tails off a little bit at the end of the. And did you also know that nobody ever retires?
Is that true?
It's true, because
it's an insurance issue, isn't it?
No, you never retire because
you just stop getting contracts.
You just stop getting paid.
Or there could be one.
I'm still playing right now, Justin. I play twice a week. Nobody's
for the
paying
20th straight summer.
When we see some of those trades the general managers have made over the last few years, there could be a chance you can get a call at any time.
It could happen.
To come in for a PTO. Okay, I want to pull out a little bit of my Union tough guy card here. And I'm going to give you some names that would they ever be considered? Or is it when you look at someone with 1,500 or 2,000 penalty minutes or 2,500, Dale Hunter, Pat Verbeek, Rick Tocchet. I mean, these guys, huge contributions to their teams in the playoffs. Does the makeup of that generation and how they had to play to make their team feel safe or add to it, does that get lost a little bit because, hey, oh no, 6 suspensions here and this one here? Do you guys talk about that sort of stuff?
We do. And that will have basically no bearing on it because there's a lot of people on our committee that like the guy that has 2,500 minutes in penalties. And we know how important those guys, especially the guys that can play, of course, they're not getting considered for the Hall of Fame unless they can play while being that tough, competitive player at the same time. So that is not going to go against them from the standpoint of whether they're going to be considered in the Hall of Fame or not.
Yeah, that's...
So Hall of Fame for like...
Are you thinking like Bob Probert, like a guy like that who, you know, had impactful guy?
Scored 35 goals one year.
I mean,
maybe not that.
Yeah, maybe.
But there are some guys.
You gave a few though, Nick, right? I mean, you did.
Just
you
a few
guys.
off the top of my head. I bet you I could come up with 5 or 10 that maybe cross that line a little bit, or at least give you guys something to really think about. You know, any chance for a Hall of Fame for like good guys in the room?
Like guys in the room,
party guys.
You would fit that category. I can tell you that right now.
Organize the hangouts. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome stuff. Outside of that, you know, traditionally November every year. You guys are happy with that? We're going to see another alumni game. Are you playing in the?
I am. I'm playing this
Joe
Sunday.
Nieuwendyk versus Adam Oates.
It is. I'm playing on New East team because I guess it's the scorers versus the setup guys. So I had 700 goals and 600 and some assists. A few of them off the pads, I got to tell you, off the goalie's pads. So, yeah, we're taking them on and looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun.